Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of El Local. I am your host, Eddie Gonzalez, and today I'm excited because I have Karina North
Hey.
joining me today in the studio. Hi, Karina.
Hello, Eddie. Thank you. Thank you for inviting me.
Yes, how
Um,
are you doing?
Very good. Very excited to be here. I'm just very excited and grateful. Thank you
Hi.
for
No,
inviting me.
yeah,
Yeah.
thank you for coming on. Is this your first podcast? Have you ever done podcasts or?
Um, I was in I was in the radio little podcast too
Uh huh.
with that's called the balloon,
Uh huh.
the moon balloon. And we were talking about art and fun and the things that I like to do,
Yeah. Okay.
which is pretty much what I mean. A lot of people like to do what I do. They just
Mm-hmm.
don't know it yet.
Yeah, that is true. An artist doesn't know they're an artist until they get their hands dirty.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
and then so this is what we're gonna do. Just talk about you as an artist and how you became an artist. And so my first question to you is, kind of want to know a little bit about your background. I met you about a year ago, or so, uh, and we are both part of an organization, Arte de Corazon. We're involved heavily in it, and we also worked out together at the gym.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
See the muscles.
Envision. Shout out to Envision. Didn't know until we got involved with the art. But who is Karina North?
Well,
I know it's a big question,
oof,
but
oof, oof, that's a big question. So well, it's just a bunch of things together, right?
where are you from?
I am from Mexico. I was born and raised in Mexico, and I moved here about 13 years ago or so, maybe 12, something like that.
Yeah.
Um, so it was like very, the change is just different. There is a lot of Latin community here, and people think that it's not as bad the change, but it's not bad. It's just impactful. Like everything that I knew how to do it, people does it different here.
Yeah. Backwards almost, huh?
Yes, yes,
Backwards.
backwards almost. So I come for a family of musicians.
Okay.
So my dad was a singer, my sister is a singer. So a long line. I didn't get the singing part, but I was always into getting people together and celebrate because that's what my family used to do. Wedding planners, wedding musicians.
Yeah.
So
What town are you from?
I'm from Querétaro.
Querétaro. Okay.
Yeah, not many people knows about that town.
Uh huh.
It's very,
Is it small?
it's not that small, but it's like right in Midland, and it's very cultural, like universities, museums, and a lot of church.
Okay.
So it's a place with a lot of culture.
Okay.
I like it. I hope you get to visit one day.
One day,
It's
yeah.
beautiful, Querétaro. And then when I moved here, I started working in mental health with elders, and then I continue working then with people with disabilities, and I was program director of a day program for people with disabilities for about 9 years.
So is that the first thing you did when you came here to the
Yes.
States?
Yes,
Okay.
that's what I did. And I think that, to making all those, it's a lot of pressure. It's a lot of pressure to take care of, to be in charge of the care of people with disabilities and
Yeah.
seniors. And a lot of the activities that I used to do, because I used to do the curriculum, was based on art therapy, crafts, things to keep their mind occupied. But not even knowing, I was even doing it for myself. Like the best part was to practice what I was gonna teach
Teach.
to my staff, so my staff will teach to them.
So you were kind of becoming an artist without knowing you were becoming an artist.
Exactly.
So it not that it happened by accident, but it was just kind of like through working in like a process.
Totally unexpected.
Uh-huh.
I didn't really think that this was something that I could live off. You know, it was, there was a moment when that environment is just really stressful. It's just too much going on. And I, being so, you know, an advocate in mental health, I knew that that wasn't healthy for me. Just constantly losing myself in everybody else's problems or in, you know, just getting very involved. So I started using this as a therapy, and then I have my very best friend, Mina. If I hope she hears this, but she was the one that told me, "Hey, why don't you give me a class?" I'm like, "Class of what?" "Let's paint." So I give her one class, and then she said, "Oh, I'm gonna invite my friends," and she brought her friends, and then she told me, "Hey, have you seen this? You can teach." And I had no idea that I can do that. Like, it was when I left my job as a director, I really was like, what am I gonna do? Like, I want to do something, but it was those moments where you think like you're losing something, and it was grief there of doing something for so many
long.
years.
Yeah.
That I thought that's what I wanted. But, you know, I was doing what I wanted just in a different way. And then I just find myself painting, and I start looking for, you know, my own passions.
That's awesome. Yeah, no, I understand that when you say that you kind of, you do something for so long, and then a change is very scary. It's the unknown, that people really don't like.
You know what I noticed? That we become what we do. Like, as a person, when you ask me, like, who are you? If you would ask me at that point, I will say I'm a mental health advocate and I care about, and it probably will be a different explanation.
Yeah.
And when we detach from something, it's like part of yourself just breaks, and it's like, oh, I don't want to leave it, but
Yeah.
you know.
But that's it's interesting you say that, right? You don't want to leave that part of you, but it's part of growth, and I think a lot of people find that's part of life, and especially as an artist, right? You have to, I guess, shed a little bit of yourself in order to grow in art,
Right.
right? And I mean, I can only imagine that, like I said, like just the unknown being scary for you.
It was very scary. I have painted for, I don't know, I've been painting for about maybe 15 years, but I paint for me. I paint to decorate my house. I
Yeah.
do this. I have some paintings in exhibitions, but it was never with the intention that I am going to do this for a living. And then I start just like little by little. I met Jessica, I met Arte del Corazón, and it's, you know, the ball is rolling.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love that you came here, and by teaching, like I said earlier, you discovered that you're an artist by almost by accident, and
I think
you
that's
fell
right.
in love with it, and so I think that story is amazing. And I do want to get into the Arte Corazon and you doing what it is what you do with your art, but I kind of go back a little bit with coming from Mexico, growing up in Mexico, Querétaro. What is Querétaro like? Like, what is that? Is it a small town, small city, big city?
It has grown a lot, but my I am when I was living there, like in my childhood, it was really small. I can tell you that I went to a rural school, like my first grade and second grade, they were just building the school, so we will have the class outside.
Yeah.
It's my family was very very humble, but very driving. Very drive, is that the word that I'm looking for?
They're ambitious, kind of.
Yeah,
Yeah.
very ambitious, but in a way that almost stubborn. almost stubborn, like things don't get in the way. And it's my mom is a widow, and I have 3 sisters. So that's I always saw that like fearless of my mother. Like she's fearless.
Resilience.
She is
Yeah.
resilient as a cactus. Seriously. And she was always very pushy. Like, oh no, you're gonna do it
Yeah.
because you have to do it. It's
Yeah.
not a want. So, but then those things become habits, and
Second
habits
nature.
become your personality, and then
So
yes.
so you would say that she really pushed you to your limit to make sure that you achieved what you wanted to achieve, what you needed to achieve, and not just kind of let you, you know, sit around and
Yes.
okay.
It was not. My mom is like the Mexican mom with la chancla. She is funny. She loves dancing. She's a very happy woman,
That's awesome.
and so she taught me a lot of good lessons, like tough love.
Yeah.
But I think that I get a lot from her, especially like the the joy of socializing in a way that you know I like that part that we are not in the well, I don't feel like going to a bars or going to a clubs or like you know getting together to really not not too much. I think that we were made to create,
Uh-huh.
and I remember I have always been creating either art or cooking, or we were
Yeah.
meant to be that.
Yeah, to put out product, to put out um even if it's socializing, right? Kind of just put
Yes.
ourselves out there
Yes.
to like network.
Which is also what you do. I mean, you are creating connections, and that's what we were born to
Yeah.
create. I, you know, I am always amazed of people that works in sales and I have other kinds of jobs that are not so creative. But I also noticed that even in those kind of jobs, people have to come out with ideas, have to be creative and find ways. So again, we were made to create.
Yeah. Finding solutions to problems, even if it's like, right, like you said, like someone that is working at a regular job. You gotta create a way to get through your day. Work smarter, not harder.
Not harder.
Yeah.
Yes, and have fun with what you do, because if you're gonna have to work your whole life, it was like that was one of the things that made me change paths. It was like one, tell me the word, encrucijada, where you see like two paths that I saw. I'm gonna pull out my hair and go crazy if I continue having this rhythm,
Yeah.
like no sleeping and just just it was just difficult times
Yeah.
to make a decision.
But it was the right time.
I think it was necessary. It's one of those moments that will change your life forever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. And in Querétaro, it being a small town, um, what are your fondest memories? Like, what do you remember growing up? I mean, did they have there's there festivals? Because I know a lot of people, van para atrás during December.
Yes.
Those-
Yes. Well, that's one of the things that I miss the most, because Querétaro is a very, very traditional town. Very traditional. Like we will have just December, we'll have the posadas, like every week, people gather and go chant in each house. We'll celebrate the Virgin, we'll celebrate Reyes Magos. There is so many town celebrations and fireworks, and people is very warm in Querétaro. Families are very, very united, and it is a big community. And my family was very social.
Mm-hmm.
They always had gatherings because of personality and also the job
Yeah.
that my family do. And I also work with them as when I was a kid. I used to, how in the weddings they have like people that wear costumes
Uh-huh.
and dance
Oh
around.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And I was, I wear a big costume with like a things like fruits in my head, and I will dance like samba, and people will dance behind
Uh-huh.
me. And
Okay. So you're kind of your family kind of was, you said musicians, kind of entertainers,
yes,
kind of like wedding
entertainers.
planners and all that. Yeah, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so it was very fun. Querétaro has a lot of traditions, um, a lot of church. It has church in every corner.
Mm-hmm.
So it's back then it was a very safe town. I haven't been there in about maybe 10 years.
Okay. Oh, that's a long time.
Yes, yes. Mexico is, and I go back to Mexico, but there is so much that I want to see.
Mm-hmm.
That country is so rich.
Yeah.
So I like to, backpack my way around Mexico, and
Mm-hmm.
I see different
So it's been
places.
10 years since you've been to Querétaro, but
Yes.
you've gone back to other parts.
Yes,
Okay.
with my family too.
Yeah.
Like we are big travelers too.
Okay.
We like to do the backpack thing together, and
Yeah.
my sister's husbands, nephews.
Okay. No, that's awesome. Um, what you said you've been here for what, 12 years, 12
Around
or
12.
years? Why'd you leave? Like, what was that transition? Like, was there?
Well, I was living in Cabo San Lucas,
Uh-huh.
and I work in the hotel industry, also in entertainment.
Okay.
And then low season there, it's about September. And then because of the hotel, it has me the opportunity to move to different locations when
Uh-huh.
there is low season. And I went to San Francisco, and I was working there, and I met my husband, who stalked me in Facebook for like 5 years. So, yeah, I didn't want to give him my number. I'm like, oh, this is my Facebook. And then that was it.
Yeah.
That was it. We were dating 5 years, and there was, about time. About time. We, well, we have a daughter. She's 23.
Uh-huh.
So we thought it was also, the best
For her.
for her to live in different environment.
Okay.
So
Yeah. Okay, so love is what brought you to Mexico.
love,
I mean, to the United
love,
States. Yeah.
love moves the world around. Yes.
Oh man, so you're saying that the key to a woman's heart is stalking her for 5 years on Facebook?
Are you gonna marry me or not?
Hey, it worked.
It's in 5 years. So.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a very romantic story with my husband. How we were long distance, and he will stay there for a time, and then I will come, and we couldn't decide where we want to live, and it was a lot of drama every time that we had to break apart.
Yeah.
But yeah, 5 years, and then
And what made you choose Watsonville? Out of you could have gone to San Francisco where he lived, but why Watsonville?
we decided San Jose.
Oh, San Jose.
We were
Okay.
living in San Jose for quite a while. I've been living here for 2 years in Watsonville, but I was in San Jose since when we moved here.
Uh-huh.
I love San Jose. Yeah, it's nice, but Watsonville, I gotta say that's something special here. I don't know. Maybe because it's a small town and there is a big Latin community, I feel more connected with
Yeah.
people, and I feel like I can express myself, and I can I feel like a fish swimming.
Yeah,
like,
part of everyone else.
easy.
Yeah, yeah. It's funny because like you wouldn't be able to tell if you didn't tell me that you were from Mexico, that you didn't feel like a local. You got that vibe. You feel like you've lived here your entire life. So that's cool. That Watsonville brings you that home environment.
I love Watsonville. Seriously, I just fell in love with it. It has so many things, and it's not like like crowded. Um, and I see a lot of Latin celebrations here. I gotta
Yeah.
say, like I see a lot of my paisanos celebrating holidays that it makes me comfortable.
Yeah. No, that's good. That's great. And I love that you feel that about Watsonville. And that someone that from the outside feels that. It just makes me, just love and cherish my hometown even more.
Oh yeah,
So that is
you should.
amazing. Uh, and so, what have you loved so far since being here? What's like the one event that you loved from Watsonville?
Oh, um, I really enjoy the Strawberry Fest. I
Strawberry Festival.
see. I mean, I was in my booth working, but I saw the pictures and the videos, and it was like people had so much fun, and it's a very very big festival. Um, I really enjoy that one. Another events that I have seen that I enjoy was like the walk. Was the wine?
Oh, the Art and Walk.
Yeah, art and walk.
Art and Walk. Yeah, that's a big
Yes,
one.
that's a big one. I like that, and the open
Oh,
from somebody help me here.
¿cuál es?
El de el del cónsul de art, the art consul.
Oh,
The open space, no open.
trying to think. The PV Art or the Santa Cruz Art Council?
No, the Watsonville Art
Watsonville
Council.
PV.
Uh-huh.
There's a lot. I don't know which one particular. When does it happen?
It happens. The grants are coming out. Open Studio.
Oh,
It's called.
okay. Open
Yes.
Studio.
Open Studio. That it just gives so much opportunity to all artists to, you know,
Thrive.
thrive and work on something. And they're very flexible. And they have grants, and we working towards.
Oh, that's awesome. So you come from Mexico, you fall in love,
Madly.
madly in love, and you decide to move to Watsonville. When did you become it? Was it recently? You said 2 years since you become an artist, or you've 2 years since you've been here in Watsonville.
Yes.
So, did you become an artist while here in Watsonville, or before?
While hitting Watsonville.
Okay.
And I think that it helped. It was a very big help that I feel connected. Like it can be very overwhelming, a community so big like San Jose, where there is really not much opportunities if you are new, if you are just getting to know people. It's a world of artists there.
Yeah.
And I learn a lot there. I have some friends that are just like, wow, and I get to learn a lot from them. But here, it's perfect for baby steps.
Yeah.
I think it was just, what you're looking for is looking for you.
Yeah, it's the right opportunity for you being here. Yeah, no, it's awesome. And so, with your art, you started teaching classes like paint and sips, right away, or
I started doing pet portraits.
oh, okay,
That was my first thing, was paint portraits. I have a crazy passion for dogs. Like, seriously, sometimes I even think like, okay, that's too much. I have 3 dogs that I adore. Those are my perrijos,
those babies.
my babies. Yes, and I love painting dogs. I love painting animals, cats, lizards, fishes. I don't know. There is something in animals that they're so free. They're just so in their own mind. They just act by instinct. And I think that that's something that we have lost. Like we, as human beings, we are like in this society where everything falls in boxes.
Yeah,
And
they're carefree.
yes, yeah, I mean, Who's happier than a dog?
Hmm.
Seriously.
What I love about dogs, and I mean people talk about it all the time, is que they one that they're always happy to see us. We go off to work, whatever, and then we come back, and they're just so excited to see us. It's like almost like tell people like, why can't I find love like this? Why can't my friends be more like my a dog?
No.
You know, they're more excited to see me. and, it's, o-
Always.
and it's only been 5 minutes. You
And
know?
the way that they look at you, like you're a god.
Yeah.
Like, seriously, they look at you. Oh, gosh. Like, I want someone to look at me like that. But that's enough with my three dogs. I'm their hero.
Well, what kind of dogs do you have? What kind
I
of?
have two corgis.
Uh-huh.
And I brought one for Mexico that, my daughter said, oh, that's so cute. Poor doggy had parvo. So we rescued the doggy and we called her Milagros.
Milagros.
And we brought her. And she is very old now. She's very old, but she's still the queen. So that's how I start painting dogs. First, I paint my parents' dogs, my sisters, like I paint everybody's dogs, and then someone said that, oh, I'll paint my dog, and then I start like getting paid. And then my friend, the one that told me about give her a class, she asked me to paint her mom.
Ooh.
And I made like big canvas of her mom.
Wow.
And that's when she told me, give me a lesson. Just teach me how to do that. But that's the thing, that I am a teacher. I am an art teacher for kids. I teach TK and first grade. So, but it's different. What I learned there is that we want to have fun.
Yeah.
And doing art can be very, we are perfectionists.
Yeah.
It's got to be, no, I don't like it. And then I paint it white again, and it's just madness.
Yeah. So I took one of your paint and sips. It was a Frida Kahlo's paint and sip last year, and I agree. I'm a perfectionist. If it's not the way that I want it to be, if it's not the right shape, and then you were going through like the teaching, and I'm like, you're like shade here, and I'm like, I don't know what she's talking about. It's like all I know is brush, paint, canvas. And so it was difficult for me.
It is that easy. It's brush, paint, canvas. I do as best as I can to simplify.
Yeah.
Because my idea and my mission is to get rid of that stress. Like we're painting don't forget to breathe. And you have seen this, like you're painting and holding your breath, because the line is going on crooked. So that's my biggest intention, is to have these gatherings. It's not fine art.
Yeah.
This is fun art. We're supposed to be having fun, enjoy with our friends. It's not, this piece is probably gonna be in my room. It's not gonna go to a museum. Maybe it will.
Yeah, you never know. Maybe.
It will. But that's my goal, for people to have fun, and just as I did in the senior center, to use art as a therapy, as a ways of expressing, and as a ways of just letting your hair loose.
Yeah.
Just kick off your shoes and paint. It doesn't matter if it's not perfect. I think that we push ourselves, like in life, like regularly in life, we just push ourselves to be so perfect.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's not even for ourselves. Sometimes we want to be perfect because we have to look perfect. Or
Yeah, there's an image or something
Yes,
for other people.
exactly. But that doesn't happen in the canvas. You're not doing it for anyone. That's your piece. And, it's a way of also to learn how to be not to judge yourself too harshly.
Okay.
We do that.
Yeah, I like the way you put that. Yeah.
So it's supposed to be fun.
Yeah. When you first did your first class, so you did your friend, I think you're a little bit more comfortable, right? Tu amiga, a couple friends.
Yeah.
But what class was it I'm sure when you first got paid, like, oh, I'm gonna pay you officially, and it's not your friend. Like, whoa,
Yeah.
what were your feelings during that time? I can only imagine. It's like,
Yes.
wait, I'm doing this. I'm getting paid for, like, don't mess up, don't mess up, don't mess up.
Right. It was like, that's when it was the shock. Like, really? You gonna pay me for having a, for partying, or for just? And at the beginning was more technical. At the beginning, I was really teaching more technique, and just it was it was more art
Uh-huh.
oriented. But then I noticed that people, it was like getting in that mindset of art class perfectionist.
Yeah, like you were saying, yes.
So, and these were my friends. Like, we want to hang out. So I start simplifying the paints. I start like preparing the canvas, pre-tracing. Sometimes I do like not the background, but I seal and I do different process in the canvas, so it can, you don't have to do anything but
Just paint.
paint. The shade is there. Some techniques I use, also some traces, but I, wanted to simplify it because they're my friends.
Yeah.
I want them to have fun, and I had like my first party here. It was it was a disaster. It was a disaster. I don't know what happened, but I have one friend and two ladies that that just find the post, and we paint a horse, and it was so fun. The ladies, we were laughing out loud. It was really, really a a blast.
Yeah.
Like, I
It
had
was a
so
good
much
time.
fun. It was a
Yeah.
good time, and I think that these little things of, oh, that's not enough people, or that's not enough time. It's just, little lessons, but every single class I really, really enjoyed.
Yeah.
Like, that's my biggest pride.
Mm-hmm.
That sometimes I'm not even like counting how many, or like, which I know that I have to do because after all this work.
Yeah, yeah.
But
You try to bring that joy, like you said. You just that, the authenticity to teaching, and it doesn't matter if it's a lot of people or not. But
yes,
yeah,
yes, it's easy if it's less people, but when there is a lot of people, there is also more fun because they joke, and
yeah,
um so either way, but that was one event that really enjoy here, my first one, because it was so small and the ladies were so happy,
yeah.
and I had like the whole time to dedicate them and do a fun class.
That's awesome. You also mentioned that you teach TK.
Yes.
So one thing is an adult, but a TK. Okay, let's guide me through that. Like, where do
Oh,
you work? Where do you do that at?
it is so challenging, but it is very fun.
Uh-huh.
It's very messy, so there is even way more preparation there.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I am in Watsonville Prep,
Okay.
the after school program,
Yes.
and well, as I said, can get very messy, but we, we learn different techniques like watercolors, and we do some arts and crafts too. Um, it's a lot of games.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot of games, mixing colors and mixing clays, making shapes. I really like that they do what they want to do.
Yeah.
Like,
There's no trying to be perfect because they just
yes,
love it. They just love it.
and you see, it's like I can start seeing the little personalities of
Yeah.
them. Like, I see the girl that is coloring the lines very careful,
Yeah.
or like, and the guy that just pastes everything. The one that it gets really messy because they like to feel. They
Mm-hmm.
love feeling, and they feel like it gets messy.
Yeah.
but it's like the kind of messy that I like and the
Yeah.
kind of messy that parents probably hate.
Yeah.
But because it's a late class, and after that they go home, I usually they usually get to be messy and to laugh and
What? How is the excitement that a little TK gets compared to like an adult gets when they're painting? Is it a lot of like the similar kind of excitement? Like, what's the difference between
big difference.
that excitement?
Big difference. You know, it's you get to see how we evolve, and many people, instead of from being these free kids that have so many ideas and do like just spontaneous things, we suddenly are in a box, being perfectionist, looking that his is better or why I cannot do that. Just like how we learn to look at the mistakes in the things that we do.
Yeah.
And I see it a lot in art. Um, Kids usually point like, look at how cool is this? And adults usually is like, I can't do this. Can you show me again? And I can see frustration there
Yeah.
because it's not perfect. But it's the way you do it.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're doing it like this at this point in your life, it's because that's the best you know. And maybe in the future, like everything, like I don't know how was your first podcast, but I'm pretty sure that there was a lot of practice and there was a lot
There
of
was,
like,
there was a lot. What a lot of people don't know is that I recorded in the past before I released my first episode. I recorded 2 episodes like on my phone, like years, like a year, 2 years ago. And I'm like, this is gonna be the one, but then I'm like, I can't release that. So
I know how it
so
is.
then I had to like do it again, and like I didn't like that one either. And I had there was a lot of practice.
Until you're confident.
Yeah.
And same thing happens with adults painting. By now I have some ladies that are regulars. By now they sit and grab their snacks and their paint and chat. But at the beginning they will get like really nervous, like they will get apprehensive, and we will get to the point of, oh, let's take a break, let's just breathe, lose your shoulders and step out.
Yeah.
Step out, take a look of what you're doing, what you want to change, but not judging.
Yeah.
Don't judge yet.
Yeah.
But yes, it's a big difference between those worlds.
Yeah. So be like a little TK where you're excited and you just want to like learn and just want to paint, So
Yes.
go into art as a TK.
Going to art as a tick, that's the best that I can I can say, that you can say, well say. It's that freedom.
Yeah.
Like they just get excited.
Yeah.
And well, people get excited also in the parties.
Yeah. Yeah. A little drink, here and there to help you
Yeah,
get through it.
well, Mother's Day was really nice too. I have a really nice party on Mother's Day. Was have sons and mothers and
Yeah.
daughters and with moms, and it was also a very touching class.
Yeah.
But it was also fun.
Yeah. So you have, when you teach your classes for adults, is it different themes? How often do you have them?
Yes, I do private parties too. So it's different. I usually do once a month in Arte del Corazón, and private parties, as requested. I do some of the designs, and I try, to keep it as simple as I can. And I also customize themes, like if you have a bachelorette or something like that.
Yeah.
But I think that the challenge is just to keep people engaged.
Yeah.
I think just lose it up, relax.
Yeah. So if you guys are looking for a private paint and sip, if you guys need someone, Karina North is right here.
Birthday parties.
Bachelorette parties,
Parties for kids.
kid
Kid
parties.
parties. Those are shorter. Those are
Uh-huh.
like an hour because you can't have their attention
I
for
know.
that
Yeah.
long. But it's a good activity. It's a really good fun activity for kids in a party.
Corporate parties. If
Yes, I
you're a
love those.
business, a non-profit, and you need to, you know, boost morale and get the team, together right here. That's awesome.
Thank you.
And
Thank you.
I saw that you brought some of your art.
Oh yes, I brought a few things.
Yeah, let's take a look. Like,
Well, first I haven't finished this one, but I didn't wanna bring the whole thing done because we're gonna do a paint your umbrella.
paint your umbrella. Okay.
So I hope there is no superstition. Are you superstitious?
No, I'm not
No?
superstitious.
Well, we're gonna do something like this. It's still work in process. We're gonna
Here.
put some more flowers, but
Let me see. Like, put it right here in the middle so people can see. There we go.
that's we're gonna paint our umbrella. This January 24 at 6. Tickets are in artedelcorazon.com.
Okay.
So we're gonna have our umbrellas for these rainy days that are coming, and I also brought. Oops. Okay. This is this is one of the pet portraits.
Ooh. Okay.
Yeah. So
So this is guys what you would do if you guys.
if somebody requests a
Uh-huh.
pet portrait, it's customized.
Oh, customized.
You
Okay.
can
So
tell me maybe you want something like small like this,
okay.
or something more elaborate, or something more simple.
Oh, this is awesome. Oh, this is amazing.
So-
Look at that.
That's dogs.
Yeah.
That's
Look at that.
dogs, and I love how much people love their dogs in this
Yeah.
community. Like
Oh, dogs.
they love their dogs.
Man's best friend.
Yes.
You know what? For a gift, I might ask you because my brother just got a dog and he loves the dog. You know, so if you guys have a pet, and you know what?
It's an excellent present.
Yeah, it is. And you know what? I think back to like my old pets, the ones that your first pets, and like you have pictures of them, but as time goes, the quality from back then is, doesn't, you can't see it as well on the new technology. And like, I might want you to do my old pets. I think I have some pictures of them up. But yeah, like if I would have known you like a long time ago and you were doing this, I'd be like, dude, one of my Chihuahua.
Well, I do have a. That's mainly what I do. December was a very very busy month. Like they just made very good presents.
Yeah.
And I brought something like this is like one of my first works. Like before I got into dogs, like things that I used to do just for relax. I think this one, I don't know. I have that for like many years,
Oh wow. So
and those are things that I used to paint, just like different themes. But it has always been animals.
yeah.
Animals. This is one that we have a paint party for. This one.
Oh yeah.
We had a paint party for that one. And there was another party for this one was one of my first parties when I was showing more technique.
Oh okay.
So you can see that there is more kind of technique here and we use different materials. So that was one of my very first classes.
Would you say that you have kind of levels of classes if people wanted to, like a more advanced one compared to like a little,
Yes.
more newbie one? Okay. Yeah, because
Yes.
this looks pretty advanced.
Yes, that was that class was about techniques.
Okay.
And what I've been doing lately is more focus on party and entertainment
Yeah.
and socialization. But if you want to learn more technique, that's also something that I do.
No, that's awesome. Yeah, I really like that, and I love this one because this one, obviously, It's got the strawberry, Watsonville's, strawberry capital of the world.
Hmm.
So that is super cool. That is super neat.
Yeah, that's a good boy.
Yeah.
That's a good
Um,
Watsonville boy.
what's been some of your challenges as an artist? I know it's it's difficult, right? Especially sometimes when um you look at some communities or some places where it's like, oh, art, you can't make a living, or but luckily, like, Watsonville has been more open to it. But as an artist, what's been one of the difficulties that you face?
Oh, I think um, my biggest will be um, like being exposed,
Mm-hmm.
like finding places. Um, yeah, just finding places where I can show what I do. I look different places that have exhibitions, and I just put my things there if possible, if
Mm-hmm.
they are accepted. But um, my biggest challenge is that most of most of galleries, they require real big canvas,
Mm.
which just it takes a while to sell.
Yeah.
And then I have also been required to be in a gallery to have a set of different, like the same subject,
Uh huh.
but like follow up.
Yeah.
Um, so it just has been difficult for me to manage uh, parties, pets, and also wanting to
Mm-hmm.
be known, to be out, to be in
Yeah.
exhibitions. It's just I um, I struggle managing that. That's my biggest challenge. I wish it was easier
Uh huh.
to just go somewhere and hey, put my painting there,
Yeah.
right? But no, it takes time, takes to know people, to
Yeah.
make
The
connections.
networking. Yeah.
It's know what you know.
Yeah. It's who you know.
Hmm.
Yeah. No, that is very true. That is very true. So business owners, uh, if you're watching this, there is some art that would like to be put up in your business, and not just Karina, but like all the artists, right? Given
Hmm.
opportunities to just expose who they are and what they do.
And owners of coffee shops, I mean, it brings conversation to your to
Yeah.
your business.
Hmm.
Like, people get curious and then might hang out there longer, or um, I don't know. I have seen some cafes in Santa Cruz
Hmm.
that they are willing to hang your work, um, but I haven't had that luck in Watsonville
Yeah.
yet.
Yeah. Um, I think that you're not the only one that faces it, right? I think there's a lot of artists that kind of face that. Because again, like, to get paid to do art is big, right? And not a lot of businesses are like, oh, well, it's one painting. I could get a painting at the store,
Yes,
you
and
know? And so I could see how that is very hard. But um, I mean, these are amazing. I don't know why you wouldn't want to have this at the coffee shop downtown on Second Street. That's in front of the uh, uh, courthouse library. Just saying, who's ever owner of
ah,
that.
okay.
I'm
I'm
just
gonna go
saying.
visit you.
Yeah, I'm just saying. Hey, I'm making a call out to everyone because it's cool. I mean, and it's important, right, to like network with everyone and help each other out, right, in
Hmm.
one way or another, right.
Right.
So no, but this is awesome. Like I said, um, I had a I I had the Frida Kahlo's one that I painted, and it was up here for a little bit. And then someone was like, "Oh, I like it." It's like, I'll give it to you. It was my gift to them because I mean, it was good, but I get so like I said, like I'm that person. I'm a
Just
perfectionist, you know.
yeah, you gotta lose. You gotta get loose.
Yeah.
It takes time.
Mhm.
It's for some people it doesn't take one class. It takes
Mhm.
like if give yourself a chance to learn something different.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, many people doesn't know that they really like to paint. Or they become like different people when they paint.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, especially if they paint something they like. I like to do the um, teaching the paint your pet.
Yeah.
Those are very fun.
Oh yeah. What do you see yourself in like 5 years? Like where do you envision your art taking you, or what do you see in your future with your art? Or what do you want to accomplish?
Well, I want I want to accomplish to have a brand, to have my to have a space where people can just gather um, and paint. I see myself not having a gallery, but having a studio where, I mean, Arte del Corazón is just perfect for that. Uh, just being being able to show more what I do
Yeah.
and to do more. I see myself in 5 years having more exposure. I am applying for grants. I am looking for opportunities, but baby steps. I know that it will take time, and in 5 years, maybe if I'm one step ahead, that'll be
Yeah.
you know that'll be evolution.
Yeah.
Just yes, it's art. It's not an easy path, but it's a very fun way to live. I can tell you, what
Yeah.
a wonderful way to live.
You can't say that your life isn't bland, right? It's just full of colors. It's seasoned with different types of art. So I like that. I like that.
Yeah, it's like all those. I mean, nobody's happy all the time and
Yeah.
colorful all the time, but it's it's a way out to get out of my mind. Like just to, as I say, just to create.
Yeah.
We just get too involved in ourselves and like creating problems that doesn't really exist. Like, what am I gonna like? You asked me, when am I gonna be in 5 years? And in my mind, there is so many things that are not even happening, and I'm like already getting anxious. Like, but there is also gonna be success, and there is
Yeah.
also gonna be fail, and it's just how it is.
Yeah.
Especially being a business owner, uh, it takes resilience. As we talk about resilience, it takes days of knowing that it. I went to this market and it wasn't great, but I did it. I did it. Just get used to. And also, another thing that's very challenging is that taking art to markets is challenging because it can get damaged easily.
Yeah.
It cannot be in the sun.
Yeah.
If it rains, oof, watch out.
Yeah.
So it that's something challenging too, because I like to do canvas.
Yeah.
And I know that it could be other products, but this is what I want to do.
Yeah.
And I'm stubborn as heck.
Yeah. This
I'm
is this
very
is
stubborn.
you. Yeah.
So I don't see myself making other crafts so I can have more products. It's more like I go for exposure so people can come to me and say, paint my dog, or let's celebrate my anniversary, or I have a bachelorette party and I want those umbrellas for my
Yeah.
mates. So I'm trying to do that more in the markets and be less worried about if I sell or if no sell, just taking care of my babies, make sure it doesn't get damaged. But that's another challenge. Markets, it's probably for artists, it is good to be there, but it's challenging to be taking care of the
Yeah.
things that you transport.
Yeah, no, I can understand that. Like something like this, um, after a while, exposure to the sun will damage the color and everything.
Yep.
So I understand when you say that.
Yes.
Uh, aside from your dogs, right? What is one of your heavy inspirations? What inspires you? Like what out there? Because I know people have different inspirations, right? And I know your dogs are a big influence on that, and just animals. But aside from that, what influences you? What gets you in that creative mode? You know,
Okay,
and
let's,
do you ever just kind of like, I need to paint this. I need to get on this right away.
yeah, let's get intense here. I do have some paints of my own that, is more like that book that I just keep for myself, kind
Yeah.
of a journal.
Yeah.
And I, constantly putting like ideas there and things that I want to do. And my inspiration comes from desperation. My inspiration comes from chaos, from not knowing what to do with myself.
Okay.
Um, it's Many great ideas were created out of boredom. Uh,
I like what you said. Chaos, art, and chaos. It it just, for some reason,
Matches.
it matches. Yes. Yes.
it is a scramble ideas, and it just it can't be bad, but it's inspiration after all. Like inspiration doesn't have to be a muse and poetry and all pretty. I think that in my case is just chaos, just seeing all chaos around, all like thoughts and things, and I need to put everything in one place, and that place is a canvas or a sketchbook, or just something to put those ideas or those thoughts, or like maybe get away from
Yeah.
those thoughts. You know, that's that's how I start painting as a therapeutic activity.
Yeah.
But then it just became a necessity. And then it just became work. And some days I don't like that my hobby became work, because sometimes I don't get to paint what I want.
Yeah.
I get orders, I
Yeah.
get customized things.
So is that hard, right? Like, to separate hobby pleasure with work, because like it's such, they're so tied with each other, right? But also it's like, as a customer, I'm paying you for your art, right? But also I can see where it's difficult. But how do you navigate through that? Yeah,
Well,
because it's chaos.
work is work.
Yeah.
Work is still is work. But if I'm painting a dog, and I just love to paint dogs. When somebody asks me for a portrait, I have fun doing that, especially because sometimes I get the freedom that they tell me, just do a fantasy background, and I can put like mushrooms and like different things in the background, or strawberries. Some people is just like very open, and I get to do what I want. But it's still work. It's still like, oh, I have a deadline. I have to stay painting until 4 in the morning, and
Yeah.
even if I don't feel like, you have to sit there and get it done. And then if I want later, I go back to my sketchbook, or sometimes I'm like, I don't even want to paint in the sketchbook. Like I'm done with my colors today.
Yeah.
But yes, that's something that I'm not completely happy with it, that I turn it into work. But as I say, you have to work your whole life,
Yeah.
so might as well.
Yeah. No. And good thing that you became an artist, because I love your art, and I'm gonna actually
Oh, thank you.
I'm gonna get a portrait of my brother's dog, and so I'll send you pictures.
Well, I'll do my best.
Yeah.
You'll see. It's gonna be pretty.
Yeah. As an artist, what other artists kind of influenced you?
Oh,
Like what artists? Because I know for a lot of Mexicanos, right, Latinos, Frida Kahlo is like the main source of inspiration, and like you strive to kind of be, right? It could be her, but who can you say is like an inspiration that you seek to kind of
I
mimic?
I c- I mean, an artist. I'm definitely in the Frida
Uh
Kahlo
huh.
spectrum. I really admire what she does. It's very different what she does because she tells her own story,
Mm-hmm.
and that's a lot of personal exposure.
Mm-hmm.
It's like showing your heart,
Yeah.
yourself, and that's magic.
Yeah.
I really like what she does. Um, there is an artist that I follow for a long time, and she's American. Her name is Cinnamon Cooney.
Mm-hmm.
She just passed away a couple weeks ago, and I think that she was a great influence because I start first taking her classes,
Mm.
and then I contact her, and we were chatting, and as a self-made artist, with Cinnamon Cooney, there was that community
Mm-hmm.
that is just very supportive. Um, so she is she was one of my inspiration to keep going. Um, Another one, which is not really an artist, but you might have heard about Louise Hay.
I've heard of them. Yeah.
Louise Hay, she is it's my sensei.
Uh huh.
I really like her philosophy. So this is my other inspiration. Even though she's not an artist,
Mm-hmm.
she had a very challenging life, and she started blooming in her 40s.
Mm-hmm.
So which it was also has always been an inspiration, but changing careers at 40 is it's like quite a challenge.
Yeah.
Like my
Yeah.
husband is like, wait, are you going through the 40-year-old crisis? I'm
Yeah.
like, no,
Midlife crisis. No. No.
midlife
No.
crisis. It's not that, but there is a point where
Mm-hmm.
you have to decide how you want to live.
Yeah.
So they are my inspirations. Frida absolutely is, it's an icon.
Yeah.
I she have to be mentioned for sure,
Oh yeah.
for sure. Um, just I did have many challenges as when we were growing up.
Mm-hmm.
Like my background is very humble,
Yeah.
and just to be able to be here and create and see my company growing, my business,
Yeah.
and it's the whole story has been unbelievable for me because as a kid, I never saw myself. I never thought that I could paint as a as a career,
Yeah.
and so I am truly enjoying this
Journey. The
this
journey.
journey.
Yeah.
This journey is very very young. Officially, I started 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Officially, with there was a Noche Bohemia,
Mm-hmm.
and I was there, and I sold my first painting there, and
Wow.
I was like, "Are you really gonna buy my paint?" Like I couldn't believe I was just exposing there what I had,
Mm-hmm.
and so this person bought like bought some paintings, and then another asked me to paint his son, and doing portraits, and it was just things keep falling in place in a very very strange way,
How
unexpected.
exciting to like sell your first piece of art and just like to think like what just happened?
Yeah,
I bet you it was a shock.
it
Like
was a
who?
shock. It
Yeah.
was a shock. It was this person just things are there, and she is, oh, I like this one, and how much for that one, and as an artist, never I wanted to have my things out, and they have sentimental value
Uh
for
huh.
me, but I have a challenge pricing them.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then when I price them, somebody told me, they are too cheap. Why are you selling it that cheap? I'm like, well, I just, that was the first challenge,
Yeah.
like pricing the work, because as an artist, sometimes we don't recognize like how many hours it takes,
Yeah.
how many material, and how, it takes,
It's a
it's a
process.
process.
Yeah.
It's a process, and, it sometimes we don't give it the value
Uh-huh.
that it has. And so that person, thank you. Um, that was my first one.
That's
That was
awesome.
super excited. I just couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
Seriously. And it was a big, big one. And then I had a portrait also really, really huge of some kids.
Uh-huh.
Also was very excited. I just couldn't believe that somebody asked me for a commission that great.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and that was this is what I want to do this is what I do the rest of my life.
Yeah. That's
This is what I
awesome.
want to do.
No, that's awesome.
Yes.
I can see the excitement. I can see the humbleness, the struggle, obviously, right, to get to where you are. But like that's part of the process. That's part of the journey, And I appreciate that because, like I said, like I I've known you for like a year or so,
Yeah.
give or
Yes.
take,
Mm-hmm.
and like this is an amazing story of your life, And I'm glad that I got to know you. I'm glad that the community is going to get to know you, you know.
Thank you.
And it's just amazing. I don't know. I'm just like at all of these stories of these people, So I really appreciate it.
It's life. You never know where it's gonna take you.
Mm-hmm.
It's just turns and ups and downs, and it's just incredible the journey, and how easy and how difficult at the same time
Mm-hmm.
is to decide what's what you want,
Yeah.
and also decide what's better for you,
Mm-hmm.
because sometimes you want something so bad that is not for you.
Yeah.
It's like, and you're forcing yourself into something that you are not.
Mm-hmm.
And you know we we need to rescue that spontaneous kid
Mm-hmm.
that we used to be.
Yeah.
We all were born perfect, and we had so many things, that little chunks that just fallen in the way,
Yeah.
and sometimes we just got to go back and pick up the pieces. But that part, your inner child, I think that's what we all need the most,
Mm-hmm.
like to have that freedom.
Yeah.
Just as you can see, I'm a big fan of that. Like animals, instinct, kids, just be yourself,
Yeah.
and so
That's awesome. Art, chaos, journey. I mean, I'm still kind of blown away with the art and chaos, just how they intertwine. It's just
what do you do where you see where you see that everything is not where you want it to be,
mm-hmm.
where things are out of place, where things around you are not working as you want it, and you are doing 20 things at the same time and not focusing on any.
Mm-hmm.
uh, it just chaos. I have to look for a place.
Mm-hmm.
um, my husband have, and I use my husband a lot as an example. He's a great guy. He have this thing called the nothing box.
Nothing.
All guys have a nothing box.
Uh-huh.
It's like when you ask them, "What are you thinking?" Nothing, and they really are thinking nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And that's something that we, as a woman, we don't have it. I don't have a nothing box. I want a nothing box. And everything is chaos, and things are not done. The kitchen, the food, everything is just all around. And he can go to his nothing box.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know what? It's Sunday. I'm gonna just be in my nothing box.
Turn it off. Just chill.
Yeah. Like, wow, I want to do that. He just can just turn it off and be a kid and, play. And uh, I really admire my husband a lot. I'm very proud of him. And I think that he helped me to create my nothing box by putting it in a canvas and getting all that chaos, putting it somewhere.
Yeah.
At the end, I finished a piece, or I might not finish it, but my mindset is I already did something.
Yeah.
Like, chaos is still there, but this little piece, like I did all the corners of the puzzle.
Yeah. Yeah. So thank you. What was your husband's name again?
Ryan.
Ryan, thank you for stalking her for 5 years on Facebook and marrying her and bringing her to Watsonville.
I love you. I love you, Ryan.
That is amazing. Karina, I ask all my. You touched on some things, but I asked my guests, like, what is your advice? If someone could remember Karina North from this advice, what do you give to artists, to people, to kids, to just anyone that's watching and listening?
I will advise. Well, I don't know if I'm to give an advice, but something that I think that we should follow is our instinct.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we don't listen enough. We don't listen enough. That first feeling, we tend to repress it because I gotta think about it. Don't think too much about it. If you feel it, we all have that. And sometimes we just let opportunities because, it's gonna look bad, or it's not me, or I'm afraid, or so. Just feelings will tell you what to do. Like, our instincts still there, and that first feeling that you get when you want to do something, that you get excited, but then you get afraid. Do it anyways because your instinct is telling you that's for you.
Yeah.
It's right there. And, well, society starts telling you you're not good enough, you're like, don't have the preparation, and, we create all these excuses. So that'll be my advice.
Follow your instincts. That's awesome, Karina. Karina, I want to thank you for coming on. This has probably been one of the. I love all the conversations that I have, but this is just like such an insightful, fresh conversation that I'm glad I had.
Oh, I'm so glad you
I'm
invited
sure,
me.
and I'm sure that everyone will watch it and feel the same way. And just thank you again.
Wow.
Thank you. And if you guys, like I said, if you guys are looking for someone to do like a paint night, to want to host something, or want a pet portrait, Karina North, right here. What's your Instagram? Where can they find you?
You can find me in Instagram as Karina North, or you also can find Painting Party Canvas Art in Instagram.
Okay.
Canvas Art is in Facebook too. I have a page. And Arte del Corazón, you can find me on Arte del Corazón. The events list is right there.
Yeah. Awesome. I'll make sure that I'll tag you for everyone to see.
Thank you.
Again, Karina, thank you for joining us today. This is amazing.
Eddie, you are wonderful. Thank you. I appreciate so much that you invited me, and I really, really wish you have good success with
Thank you.
with this that you're doing. And I think what you do is super important because we need to connect.
Yes.
And we have so much technology nowadays, and we don't even look at each other.
Mm-hmm. No, that's true. That is true.
Yeah. Thank you for do what you do.
No,
I love
thank
it.
you. Yeah, of course. And
We're very grateful here.
and there's gonna be so many more people, and again, like we're gonna connect, and it's gonna be amazing. So thank you,
I can see it.
guys. Again, thank you for joining us again today. Stay tuned for the next episode. Karina North, thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Guys, God bless. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.
Bye.